The paper read this morning, New York Knicks, Rally Cat.
Here to bring you the facts, data, and statistics up close and personal. Letting you decide if it truly is hate or debate.
Pulls up three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Wins the game at the buzzer! Oh my God! They know that! Are you kidding me?
What is good, everybody out there in the land? Happy Memorial Day. I am Podcast Petey, a.k.a. Pete the Geek. Shout out to me.
Let him cook now.
Shout out to the family. Shout out to everybody. We got a new show coming out tonight with me and Huda Luther King called the I'm Here podcast. Brought to you by Hater Debate. It's definitely going to be lit. It's definitely going to be like that. Y'all make sure y'all tune in at 8 o'clock. We got a special guest with us, so we're going to announce that at 5 o'clock. So y'all tune in on Facebook. Y'all tune in on Instagram. Y'all tune in on TikTok, as well as YouTube, and all of those things will be announced. Y'all stick with us, man. We got so many good things coming into work. Me and T got a show. Me and Boogie got a show. Me and Black got a show. And we also still rocking here on the Hater Debate original show. It's nothing but growth going on out here, man. And it's all thanks to you guys. Show yourself some love. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Now, before we get into this Knicks game, before I even dive into that, that's a lot to unpack on that game right there. I want to go ahead and start off because this whole weekend, starting from Saturday, was great for sports. It was great playoff games. It was great WNBA games. But we're going to go ahead and start this off with the OKC versus Minnesota game, because that game right there was really, really crazy. OKC, Minnesota, we saw Minnesota get their hearts taken from them in Minnesota. It was pretty crazy, and it looks like we saw the same thing in New York. But starting with OKC, we thought they were going to easily sweep those guys, walk away with them. It looked like everything was going their way. SGA walked away with the MVP. Congratulations to him. Well-deserved. He's getting a lot of flack now from a lot of other podcasts I watch. They're saying he's doing a lot of flopping. But it was a lot of argument saying, how is he doing a lot of flopping when he's only averaging like 10 to 11 trips to the free throw line every game? And, you know, the greats, Iversons, Kobe's, MJ's, they only went like maybe 8 to 9 times a game, 10 maxing out. So I'm with the people that's saying, if you can get to the basket and score, then that's what you're doing. I can't say he's flopping out here. Some plays, they're 50-50. But we don't know how hard he was hit. I can't sit here and say that. Now, if it's blatant, like how the King does it, the King of Flop, then I got to call it like that. But what he's doing, I can't say he is. What do you say about him flopping out there, T? SGA.
Can we look at like you said, let's look at real floppers and look at what SGA is doing. Mm-hmm. He's one, compared to some of the other ones, some of the other folks out there, you got to think your average NBA. That shit is kind of small for your average NBA player. He's not like the biggest dude. He's versatile, which makes him deadly. But compared to some of the other ones, he's a little smaller. So I don't think he's a flopping in a sense that, you know, what we're used to seeing on the court.
Right.
So I think that's that's doing him a disservice.
Yeah, he's longer on the. He's more on the slender side of things out there.
Yeah,
he is taller, but when you tall and don't have no weight to you, it's easy to shift you or knock you off course or whatever. And
you won't get knocked down.
Yeah, you really are. Like that's what they were saying about Wemby and what they were saying about KD when he first came to the league, and AD, till those guys beefed up, as well as Antetokounmpo. Till they beefed up like that. If you want to take it that far, Kobe and Jordan did the same thing too. Because Afro Kobe was like the biggest, the bulkiest of all of the Kobes we saw. And Jordan, after he got it, after he cut the hair off, the little peasy hair, and got his butt whipped so many times by the Pistons out there. He bulked up too. So I mean, with him being a young player, being out there like that, I don't see him as flopping out there. I do see if he beefs up like that, then he would have to flop because he's heavier and he'd have more like to prove as far as that. You'd have to sell it more, but
Mhm.
at his size, I don't think he's selling it as much as what they're saying. So
I don't see it because you have to look, like I said, with him start. And if you look at, like you said, Jordan and Kobe and them had to beef up. Remember, we all didn't hear about Steph Curry like that until he
yep,
got a little bit big. When he came out of Davis and he was this little skinny thing, but he's had to kind of get his weight up. So it all comes with stride and comes with experience and comes with growing their game. They're gonna have to get a little bit, get a little size on them because of the physicality of the game. So I don't think he's um flopping in that sense. He does get, I mean, he compared to his weight class compared to some of the other guys, yeah, he's gonna get tossed around inside. And it's gonna be easier to kind of sell the picture because he's smaller, he's small enough to get kind of tossed around. Now, come again next year, and we may be it may be a little more towards the actual flop side of the things versus the acting side of the things versus he's outclassed weight size.
right. And like they're looking at the minutes and stuff, none of their players played more than 30 minutes. None of them even played
Mm-mm.
30 minutes. SGA played 27. He had 14, 2, and 6. And he went 4 for 13 from the field. So, however not New York, I'm sorry. However Minnesota
Okay, see.
stepped their defense up, they really did have them out there looking like, Chet Holmgren was out there 20 minutes, only had 10 points. Williams was out there 24 minutes, only had 13. Hartenstein was out there 19, had 6 points. I mean, Mitchell, he was the one who fared the most. He had like 18 and went 14, but everybody else was like the defense it really slowed them down. So whatever it was that Minnesota did, it really did it really made a difference. And to not just put it on their defense, Julius Randle, man, welcome back, brother. Welcome back. I don't know what happened to you the other night where they had to sit you down when you had the 6 points. It was a struggle out here, but you came back. You played 29 minutes. You had 24 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. You went 2 for 5 from 3-point line and 9 for 15 from the field. That's the Julius Randle that I'm normally used to seeing. He was aggressive, getting to the basket, getting to the line. He was there when they needed him on defense. He rebounded well. Gobert, he just went out there and put up a couple of seven rebounds, 7 points, but that's pretty much expected for him. He was there where they needed him. Anthony Edwards, he did like the most outstanding to me. The man played 29 minutes, had 30 points, 9 rebounds. So he was a rebound short of a double-double, 6 assists. He was 12 for 17 from the field. So him and Randall stepping their games up and bringing what they had to bring, like how we know it when we were talking about the 1 and 2 players. If those
Mm-hmm.
two guys, if Randall's gonna, not Randall, Edwards is gonna have to score 24 to 30 points every night in this series, and Randall's gonna have to be not too far from it if those guys gonna stand a chance. And they're still 2-1 right now, so they're not out of the woods yet. They're going back to OKC. OKC is gonna make their adjustments. I mean, I still think it's
I don't
anybody's.
see them winning at OKC, not with the home crowd. I don't see that happening.
Right. And see, I have to give a little bit of a benefit because it is, like you said, them being in OKC, they lost the first 2 games there. But, no. They lost, they won them. They won the first 2 games in Minnesota, and they're going to have to play the next one in OKC. That crowd out there. It's hard to say that OKC won't come back with a vengeance because of losing like that. And thinking of how they won in New York, they weren't really blowout games, but they were really impressionable. So having that home court advantage for this next game, I think it's going to be hard to see Minnesota come out of there. I'm with you, see them coming out of there with that victory. And if it's like that, then it's going to be hard for them to beat them in a 7-game series because they're going to trail the whole time the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight's prediction, you got OKC taking it at home.
I got OKC winning at home.
I'm not mad at that at all. I'm gonna have to piggyback with you on that. It's gonna take a lot, and I don't know if they can I don't know if Minnesota can sustain what they did last game. So I gotta go with you on that, man. I'm looking at it. They're coming out of OKC 3-1, then going back to Minnesota, and then the last game, if they stretch it out to that. If not, it'll probably be over. Well, they might have to stretch it out because I don't see Minnesota allowing Minnesota to lose at home. So I guess they're forcing game sevens out here like that.
They may have to, because like I said, I can't see OKC going back to OKC 1 and not making the necessary adjustments on both the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball, because we all know defense wins games. You know what I'm saying? So if your defense can hold especially the points inside the paint, that's where it's going to be, because your points inside the paint, the more you force inside the paint, you get to the free throw line. You're more attempts, so that stops the clock, that stops the momentum, and that's what you want.
And you put another team in foul trouble, so they can't be as aggressive on defense.
Exactly. So I don't see. I see OKC making those adjustments and trying to get more, and starting off maybe more so with their perimeter. If they can get some of the perimeter shots to fall, then that'll bring everybody else out, which will open up the inside.
Right. So I think that game that they did Saturday was a good game, but I don't see it happening again. And if they do happen to pull it off tonight in OKC, it's going to be a close game.
Corrected.
Yeah, and like I said, it'll be a close game. It'll be like some last second at the buzzer type shot. Because one thing, I don't see OKC getting blown out again. And if they do happen to lose, it'll just be on some like late game antics or something like that. It will not be a wide open blowout like that in OKC. If so, then we both will be standing corrected, and you'll have to pick my jaw off of the floor, because it'll be hard for me to believe.
That part.
It'll be very hard for me to believe. All right, so moving on, we're gonna go to last night's game, where the New York paper, they had two headlines. One says Rally Cat, and the other one says the chokes on them. Now I think
that first game, we know they choked out one. Like, what would y'all do? Did y'all go down to Fifth Avenue and eat something and forget that y'all had to really? First of all, we all know Indiana got shooters.
Mm-hmm. They got a well-balanced team.
Pressure the shooters, and like I said, I'm not a Knicks fan. My dad grew up, they lived in White Plains. They grew up, my entire family, Knicks fans. I hear Knickerbockers all the time.
Yeah. Growing
up. When I called my own father after that game, and he said, "Daughter, don't talk to me."
He didn't want to hear about it.
He said, "Daughter, don't talk to me." Well, he said, "I'm not happy right now." Because it just made that game, I thought they had it. And for them to allow them to come back to take
2 minutes left.
To take that game, I'm like, y'all done went way off what New York basketball is all about. When Pat Riley and Ewing and Sprewell, that basketball was tenacity. You held down home floor.
You better fight. Because
we're going to bring one
to you. You better fight.
So for them to actually come back and show a little bit of what, some folks is used to seeing, and to be in foul trouble, to get it done in foul trouble, that's the Knicks of old. That's the Knicks who found a way to scrap it and come out the garden and fight. Like, where was y'all at the last? Where was y'all at?
In that game, were we talking about where they blew that lead with the 2 minutes left? I saw something, and I kind of kept it to myself, because I was like, no, I'm not going to be critical on him, because I don't know if this is true. Maybe it's this night. But then last night, I saw it again, and it was blaring. It was wide open. And what I saw was that first game when they lost, Jalen Brunson can't play defense at all. When I saw his defense, I said,
we have been hoodwinked,
there is no
led
way,
astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
He can't close out. He's always off his feet. like you said, he stays in foul trouble. When he's off of the floor, that's when they go on their runs.
Mm-hmm.
He is a valuable scorer, but he's a liability on defense. We
Yeah.
saw it yesterday when they went down 20. It was all because he was in the middle of it, getting blown by, getting pump faked out of the gym. I was like, yo, what in the world? How didn't I see this? How is nobody saying anything about this? Is because he's dropping 43 points, maybe 2 or 3 assists. Remember, we talked about with Cat, he's dropping 35, 10 assists. He's playing better point guard than Jalen Brunson is. He isn't doing anything but dropping points. There's no rebounds. There's no steals. There's no blocks. There's nothing with it. Now I'm starting to see why Dallas didn't want to pay him, and they let him go ahead and go. Now, your points is needed, but if you're that much of a liability, I mean, he's worse than Luka. He looks really remedial out there when he's playing defense. I was kind of
Luka's
embarrassed.
big. Luka got a reason to have slow feet.
Right, and I felt sorry for Thibodeau, because remember we were saying he needs to step it up, he needs to coach better, but he needs the points from him. But it's not his fault. The man can't play a lick of defense. And you notice, when all of the other analysts, they say, well, I think he had Brunson on the bench too long. If you look at that score, no, he didn't.
Needed to sit
They
there.
came back, and then when they needed him to score, they did. But the best part about last night's game was Karl Anthony Towns, when they needed him most. Like the first half, him and Jalen Brunson had 4 fouls. Well, he had 3. Jalen Brunson had 4. I saw his come. I was like, yo, what are you even out here doing? Then when they sat him down second half and Cat came out there, the big bodega started handing out discount tickets, taking it to the rack. Like, what are you going to do? When he first pulled up that 3 for that heat check, I was like, oh, okay. We might have something going. He started getting a groove. That fourth quarter, 20 points in the fourth, while Brunson was on the bench. Man, that's what they need from Cat.
And
That's
if you
what
have
they
your
need from
point,
him.
your point is supposed to be your floor general. Yes, you need your point score. Your point is supposed to be your floor general, but your point also needs to be able to play defense, because once they get rid of that ball, they need to be able to hold. Either if you playing man-to-man or zone, they need to be able to hold that spot. So, because eventually they're going to have to get the ball back to running back. So your point runs your offense. You can't run your offense if you A, on the bench, B, in foul trouble, and C, you can't play defense when you drop the ball off to one of your other teammates in order to open up the rest of the floor.
Yeah.
There's a skill and a method to playing point. You have to have all 3. You can't have 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3. And the fact that you're scoring 30 plus points in a game, but you're steady in foul trouble, you're steady getting beat on the inside, you're steady, not taking not making the necessary adjustments on the floor. It's almost like a QB. You gotta see, when you see looking at the field, you gotta make the necessary adjustments quickly before you make that, pass, run, or whatever.
Yep, and on your point with that,
you got to make the necessary adjustments, and I didn't see it.
yep, and on your point with that, I saw an argument where they always like to argue the best point guards. That's why I think Magic is the best. Now, they wanted to argue with Steph being the best. Steph is the best shooter of all time. He doesn't use all of that much point guard skills. He's more of a shooting guard, if you ask me. Now, he does get good assists. He can handle the ball a lot. But when you're comparing him against the greatest point guard that we know, because you look at all of those players that play with Magic Johnson that are Hall of Famers because how he dished the ball so well. They weren't bringing the ball up like that and breaking people. I mean, they could create their own shots when needed, but a lot of the times it was them getting keyhole dimes from Magic. That's what I believe a true point guard is. You're going to instill that fear. See, here's the difference with him and Russ. With Russell, Magic, and Steph. Russell and Magic, we know they can't shoot, but they can get to the cup. And when they collapse your defense by doing that, they can always kick it. Their eyes are in the back and in the sides of their heads at all times. That's why they could do the triple-double thing like that. They're willing rebounders. They're good defenders. And at the same time, like we said, they distribute the rock very well. Their game, they have the ball the most, so their mistakes have to be the lowest and their sharing has to be the most. So I totally agree with you on that. And I had to put that on there because I think newer people that are watching the game, they think if you're a point guard and you can score more, that makes you a better point guard. That actually takes away from the job that you're supposed to be doing, but it covers up because you're scoring when the team needs you to score. So it's good, but it doesn't make you a better point guard. It just means you can score.
And when you think of point guard, and you think, especially when it comes to the Knicks, in my opinion, one of the best to ever be point guard on it was John Starks.
Yep. Yeah. You got. I mean, he learned from Derek Harper, Mark Jackson, Greg Anthony.
Exactly.
I mean, Knicks, they always had scrappy guards. That's one thing I will say. They had guards this is the city of New York we're talking about. It's what basketball, the guards come from.
Out of the
It's
Ruckers,
always guards coming out of there. Always, and when you like you said, that Knicks team, and when you got Brunson, he's scrappy like that, but in comparison to no other guard that played at the Knicks, his defense isn't there at all. And if he doesn't fix that, I mean, people see it. They're taking the way I see it, how they say Halliburton was overrated. The way that he plays defense and has been playing and leading his team from the point guard position versus Brunson, I think the shoe's on the wrong foot. And I think Brunson is overrated because all we're talking about from him as a point guard is his scoring. He's not getting assists like that. Last night he had 1 assist, 2 rebounds, 23 points from 6 for 18 shooting. That's horrible.
And how many minutes?
And he played out there. He was out there for 30 minutes. That's horrible, man.
That's not a good stat line.
Yeah, and like we said, his defense was it was trash. His defense was complete trash. He had 3 turnovers. I mean, come on, man. It's hard to put that up there and think you can ride that to a championship.
Not gonna happen.
Now, if he was a secondary player and they put the ball in Cat's hand more like how they did, I believe if they want to win, they need to use Cat like how Denver uses Jokic or like the Bucks use Antetokounmpo, and let him dictate the ball and everybody else be around. Because, I mean, if you got to collapse on Anthony Towns, because, I mean, he's taking Miles Turner from the top all day. He get that ball, get him in that triple threat. He's on the way to the basket. All you could do is foul him, or he'll travel sometimes, but I'll give it to him and let him drive. If they collapse, because, I mean, you think if he does that from the start of the game, starts off aggressive, by that second quarter, they're going to have the double where it's going to be foul trouble. If you don't have Miles Turner out there, that's going to be a one-sided game. I don't care how you put it. They need his points. If you collapse
from the inside, you got a couple of decent perimeter shooters that can make them outside shot, and that still leaves somebody down in the paint. So at least you have a better chance of an offensive rebound and getting that putback.
Right, and some of their perimeter defense went down. We don't know how long Neesmith's going to be out. I think he rolled his ankle, and I think that was a big part of them coming back too when he wasn't out there with that good defense that he has. But I mean, right now, I guess it's to be determined, a game-by-game decision. I'm pretty sure if he can go, he'll go, because they're trying to put these guys away. That game last night, it didn't give me any hope. I already did say I thought that the Knicks would take this, but watching how Indiana has done it the whole time this season, how they grinded it out and found ways to win, and they have been the most complete team in comparison only with OKC, because their bench and their starters, their role players, everybody come to play every night. It's got to be a miracle or something really, really out of the way to happen for you to beat that team. And consistently, none of those teams have won 2 back-to-back the whole playoffs. No. They lost a game, got it back right. So, like I said, it's looking the same way on both sides. And do you think politics has to do with it, almost like they're forcing the Game 7 to give you more of an insight on these young players that are right now going to be the future of the NBA?
That's a great conspiracy theory. That's a great conspiracy theory. And if you want to get into the grimy, dark side of things, I can see that being what was that?
I hit the keyboard and it's got the yeah, I had my sound effects on it, but it went up to the Chickmunk Boys.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, I'm getting Alvin vibes here. I can see that's a great conspiracy theory. I can see that being behind the scenes. And if you want to get into like the darker theories about, like how they used to say games being rigged back in the day and whatnot, I could see where that would come into play. But in this particular instance, I don't think so, because it's not as the two teams that are in contention here don't have enough of the mystery around them to, I think, push that particular point. I honestly think the Knicks got a lucky break. I don't see them getting. I don't see this going to a game 7. Let's see, what's this? They're what, 2-1, right?
Same on
So
both
that's
sides.
the 4. So I see this going at most to a game 5.
And isn't it crazy how both of the teams lost at home and are down but stole a win away? This is, like I said, that is crazy to me how that happened, but both of them had home court advantage but got beat by teams. That's what I like. It's not the individual. I can't say they're getting back to, but with these guys that are winning, we're seeing team basketball, and that's something that we hadn't seen in a long time. I'm here
It's
for
like
it.
complete where one is down, somebody else is pulling. You getting, versus it being Kobe, or LeBron, or Steph or Draymond. You hearing everybody's name being pulled because everybody has made some sort of contribution to the
Definitely.
entire process.
Yep.
But I just don't see that entire process coming together for the New York Knickerbockers. I think this was they found a little loophole. They found a little glitch that was in the system, kind of like I'm a mama, so I watch all kinds of crazy movies. If you watch Wreck-It Ralph, you know how Eraser was the glitch. Princess Vanellope, she was a glitch. They found a little glitch in the game. But I don't see. I see Indiana coming back, tweaking it, getting, and like I said, at most this may push out to a game. It may push out to a game 5. I don't see it going to full 7 rounds. Now, if he does not come back with that ankle injury, that's gonna be the difference maker, because the way he plays his defense. That, how severe is that rolled ankle?
I'm not sure. I hadn't heard anything yet. I was going to I did a little bit of looking up on it. They only talked about it being real, but they only talked about he took an injury. They didn't say the severity of it. So I guess with that being said, he hadn't taken his MRI, but it probably just hasn't been reported yet. They're trying to get the suspense up, but I'm guessing we'll see.
Because he look. I watched the highlight and I'm like, that looking like it hurt a little bit, just a little bit. But
Right.
then again, these guys are professionals. They throw their bodies in sub-degree temperatures in a cryo thing, in ice baths.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
Okay,
gotta
how
go
you
with a little bit
slice it?
more from it. I think they'll be all right. I'm with you on that. I think he'll be all right. And even if he's not for this game, I don't think that'll stop them, because I'm with you on it. The Knicks, to me right now, the last game, definitely the way they had that collapse. If they don't understand how to get somebody to score and get Brunson out of there when he's in foul trouble, if Brunson has one foul in the first, sit him down. That way you don't take that loss, because when he gets simple fouls early, he stops playing defense when he's not really playing defense anyway. So you're just a liability out there on both ends. You're running on. You look at his game on offense. He can put his body up against you, run to the basket, and score like that. He's not really one of these shifty guys that doesn't have to take contact or anything like that. He just opposes his will, if you ask me. He's a downhill player. He's almost like a undersized Julius Randle, if you ask me.
I can see that.
With players like that, all you got to really do is play that defense where you pull the chair from underneath them, Don't let them be physical to you. Don't let them oppose their will. Play that defense where you don't have to play body to body and meet them at the peak of their shot. You'll get them every time. You'll get them every
Exactly. He's
time.
not quick. He's not his his reaction time is not as quick as some of the other ones.
Nope.
So it's easy to throw him off
It really
if you
is.
do a quick shuffle, quick left. He's gonna move his feet, and that's gonna and put him in the way, which is gonna be an easy foul.
And you saw how every time they'll do something, like you said, where he shifted his feet, his legs look like a baby deer out there. I was like, how are you an NBA player and your legs like that off of a simple move like that? You just got shook out your shoes. You better take them Kobe's off. What are you doing? I mean, your legs are pretty much like this on a defensive play. Man, there's no way.
I got a
There's no
surprise
way.
for you. I got a surprise for you.
Let's go.
It should be coming up shortly. I got a
Okay.
surprise for you.
Okay, breaking news, breaking news.
Hold on.
We definitely gonna do it, man. Cause like when I see Jalen Brunson out there, I just think,
Oh, you mad that I'm styling on?
Silence! I can't take this shit no more.
get him out of there, man. Just get him out of there. I do not like the if they can't find anything better to cover up his lapse in defense, the zones they're playing can't even work because he can't even hold his man in the zone. If you can't hold your man in the zone, you shouldn't even be on the court at all, period.
Nope. I got a
There's
surprise
no way.
coming through.
Okay,
should-
okay.
He should be coming through shortly.
Shout out to the man right there himself, JLE the 3. JLE the 3, what's going on with you, man?
That's the
But-
surprise.
Yeah,
He's
man.
been feeling better. He's been feeling better.
Oh, man, good, man. Yeah, does he have the link?
I just sent it to him.
Okay.
He just asked me for it. That was
Awesome.
my surprise.
Because I definitely want to hear his take on it. I definitely
That was
do.
the surprise. When I got the pop up, I was like, he's feeling better. So
Awesome.
let's send that to him. But yeah,
Yeah,
so,
you know, it's always great to have him out here. So with
Yeah,
what is it? The New York Knicks, they got Tibbs and OKC's got Collins, right?
I believe so.
Like
wanna-
I said, when we talk about the better coach in this, I'm gonna have to give it to Indiana's coach, because what happened yesterday, they really wasn't prepared for it, because you can't scout and report on Jalen Brunson being out like that and not being able to contribute. So whoever stepped up in his place, they don't have that scout and report on what to do in that situation. And I think with that happening the way that it did, that just led to a downhill battle. Well, uphill battle for them, but they were straight downhill on New York when Brunson wasn't out there. I can't put no more confidence in him anymore. Yeah, you could score, but defense, I need you to sit down somewhere.
Turn your
JLE
phone,
3, what's good
Trey.
with you, bruv?
Turn your phone, Trey.
I did.
Oh,
he
okay.
good. Yeah,
All right,
he
yeah,
good.
no, turn it back. Okay.
Yeah.
How you
Yeah.
feeling about the
Hey.
game last night, brother? Good to see you back too, man.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I was down. I was down for a minute, but I'm good, bud. I'm back now.
Awesome, man. Good to have you back. Always, man. Always.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Would you see what stood out to you? Matter of fact, not what stood out to you most. What did you think about that defense Jalen Brunson has been hiding this whole playoff series? Well, not this series, but every series in the playoffs. Because all we've been talking about was his scoring. But like I said, I tried to be quiet and just really pay attention. This guy's defense is trash.
Yes, it is. It is. And I don't want to go there, but he out there looking like Luca.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like offensively, he's a threat anytime he touches the ball, but defensively, he's becoming a liability.
Mm-hmm.
And and in the regular season, he didn't do that.
Nope.
It's like and you said something earlier which I found really interesting. Like once he started getting these simple fouls called against him, he stops playing defense.
Yep.
And that is a mentality thing.
Mhm.
Now, you are coached by Tom Thibodeau,
Mm-hmm.
who is one of the greatest defensive coaches we've seen in the NBA. So now you doing these silly ass fouls that you doing, you know better than that.
I'm telling you.
So he has to do a better job of not picking up those silly fouls so he can stay in the game longer. Because the game the other night when they got blown out of the gym,
Ran out of here in the last 2 minutes too.
that man had 4 fouls. I believe he had 4 fouls and got them all in the same quarter. Like I think
Yep.
he got all his fouls in either the third or the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Just doing silly shit.
Yep. It's
And that's
almost
how
mental errors with his fouls.
yeah, and
You
that's
trying to go over the screen wrong or whatever, or just going for a steal and not worried about the body contact that you're gonna get going for that steal, knowing you're not that kind of athlete.
right, and that's how they ended up losing. Because
Yep.
now that game right there, that was woo.
Bro, I just got off the show with Boogie, and I was like, New York gonna win. I was like, oh snap, they up 20, 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. Let me watch it. They didn't score anymore when I started
Mm,
watching. I was like, what in the world's going on here? Maybe I
mm-hmm,
jinxed them boys.
mm-hmm. And
But
I
it
and
was
see,
over.
yeah, and I watched the game. I actually watched the game from the start, and then when they were up 20, I was like, man, I'm turning this shit off. like ain't no like the Knicks got this, but we saw now we've seen in these playoffs them on the other side of this because they
Yep.
did it to Boston twice.
Yep. Just like last night, they came back from 20 down.
Yeah,
It took everything, but man,
and that and that's
the
and that's what I
20
want,
when
and
they
that's
came down that 20, it was when Jalen was on the bench and Cat put those guys on his back.
yeah, and that's what's been confusing me about these playoffs. Like the games seem like they'll be blowouts, even though Minnesota they beat the complete
Yeah.
hell out of OKC.
The brakes and the rotors came off yesterday.
Like
Hey,
everything,
breaks and rotors.
Yeah.
everything, brakes, rotors, shockers, everything.
Everything. That's
Yeah,
when the wheels fall off. That's what happened, man.
yeah, yeah. Cause boy, I watched that game. I was shocked. But
They
see,
had
but
SGA mic'd up, and it wasn't good commentary on there.
I also said before the playoffs started. I don't think I said it on here, but I said it to somebody that if OKC got to the Western Conference Finals, which I was kind of positive they would be,
Hmm.
any team because they were talking about, well, what teams do y'all think would have a chance against them? I actually thought it would have been Minnesota because they have the size to match up against OKC's size.
Hmm. That's
And
true.
then it's Shea versus Ant,
Hmm.
and OKC has, I believe they have better bench players than Minnesota does,
Yep.
but Minnesota starting five can get the job done.
Yep. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you 100% on that. And
I
the
agree.
one thing that me and T was saying earlier is it's going to take Julius Randle to be more consistent.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
going to take that. They wouldn't have took that loss the last time if he would have been more consistent. They don't need him like we said with that 6 points. You got sat down because you was out here. Come on, man.
come on, yeah, come
I
on,
mean that just wasn't it. But when he plays his game, like how we know the man he's a threat out there. He can beat you up out there on that court. He's gonna get to the point. He's gonna get his buckets. He's gonna talk the talk. But when he's just out there playing timid out there like that, no, we don't need you like that on the court like that, man. And you're gonna embarrass your team as well as yourself. He said his son gives him motivational speeches or whatever before the game. That game when you had 6 points, he must not have got through on FaceTime, man. He probably was after the game like, Dad, that wasn't it. I didn't
at
call
all,
you and tell you to do that. I could have did that out there, man.
at all, at all.
That was just. I'm with you, man. These games are so unpredictable. I like it because, like I said, the final four teams that are here are all young stars. There's no old guys out there right now.
Mm-mm.
It's almost us getting a glimpse of the future of the league and the
Mm-hmm.
stars that we're gonna have right now. I think it's in safe hands, but I'm gonna have to definitely, like I told T, I gotta take Halliburton and put him over Brunson in that conversation as
No,
far as a
definitely.
complete player because
Man, what's
what I'm
man,
seeing from that man is not it, man.
man, what's that? Hey, because now I don't know. I haven't heard the song because I guess I'm just not up to date when it comes to hip hop culture now. But they keep talking about this song that got Halliburton's name in it.
I hadn't heard it either. I have to check into that, man. I'll definitely
Like,
have to check into that, man.
yeah, because actually because what it was I was watching this little mini series on YouTube where they interview the wives and girlfriends of NBA stars,
Okay.
and they and
Updated.
they and they interviewed Tyrese Halliburton's girlfriend, and the last question was what song has his name in it, and she started singing. She like something like what the hell Burton, like something like that.
I know it now.
Oh, that
What the
one.
hellion?
Yeah.
What the hell
Yeah,
LeBron James? What the
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
what the hell
It's all
LeBron
over
James?
TikTok. I've heard it. Yeah.
That's I forgot what his name was. Blind Theory put me onto that, man. Shout out to him too, man.
It's all over TikTok. So because everybody's doing the little TikToks. What the hell? What the hell? So yeah.
Okay, yes,
It's
it
actually
whatever.
catchy too. I will give it's a catchy little. It's
Well,
one of the
okay,
things that catch you
okay,
in your ear. It's like a little earworm. It get it
uh,
and you just it don't come out. It
I
takes
know
a minute.
okay.
exactly what you're talking about when you
Okay.
said
Well,
that.
I have to look on TikTok then. Okay.
What the helly? I think that's what it is. What it's called. What the
Yeah,
Yeah.
helly? I believe.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I have to look. I have to look at it on TikTok.
But
It's a
when they say
cute
that, what
little. I
the
mean,
helly? When they say that, what the helly? I got to say that to Jalen Brunson, man. What the
yeah.
hellion?
Right.
What the hellion? What the helly?
Right.
He deserves that name the most, man. The
He
most.
deserves a
Right.
whole life. It just makes no sense. Like I said earlier, Trey, I don't know if you heard it. Like I said, what frustrates me about Brunson is as a Knicks point guard, there's a long line of really good point guards that have come out of and guards in general that have come out of Knicks. And for him to have not have a complete game is frustrating. Because like
Yeah.
one of the point guards that I grew up watching, and I'm not a Knicks fan, but my daddy's a Knicks fan, so that's what daddy's girls do. We watch games with our dads.
Hmm.
And I remember watching John Starks. Now Starks was not a scorer. He was not your he was not your like star scorer. But the way that man could penetrate the defense and pop that ball out, so he had more assists than anything.
And he
Could
had
pop
Yeah.
that
great.
ball out and he could see it and that's what you want your point guard to do. Where he can adjust the plays to make sure that everybody got where they needed.
And he
It
had
is
defense as well too.
Yeah.
exactly he could play because he could steal the if you weren't protecting that rock. Oh, he was stealing that bad boy and going down. That's how he got a lot
He,
of
No,
his
that
points.
yeah, he
Because
look
he
picked
that
was
look
Jordan
they look
pockets a couple times. He picked
the
Jordan's
whole
pockets a couple times.
that whole Knicks team. John Starks, Allen Houston,
Mm.
Patrick Ewing, Latrell Sprewell, like
Oh man,
them
good
boys
they
was
quality squad,
yeah,
dogs.
man.
Them boys was
exactly.
dogs.
So to see Brunson doing the way he's doing it, kind of, it's like that's not Knicks basketball.
Nope.
That's not what a true for a Knicks fan. That's not what we used to a true NBA fan. That's not what we used to seeing. You need to be able to play. You need to have a complete game. If you gonna score that much, bro, your defense needs to be able to complement your offensive game, and it is not. And if you're steady getting in foul trouble because your feet are not quick enough to where they can shift you off your game inside, that's a problem. When you can
Yep.
go on the bench and everybody else can be more productive with you on the bench, that's a problem. We
You
need
see
Yeah,
to
people
this
fade away
whole
in the
game.
NBA like that. You see
most
people
definitely.
straight fade away like that. And my question to you, Jelly, like I said, we agreed that he's a lot like Luca. And
Hmm.
remember when he was on Dallas? Would you say, because I do, would you say that's the reason they traded him instead of maxing him out before they got rid of Luca? Because remember, they had him and Brunson, but you
Hmm.
can't have them two on the court together with that defense
Yeah,
that they had. That's no, you can have
yeah.
Kyrie, because Kyrie will play some. He's like Steph. He's a willing defender. He's not going
Hmm.
to get shifted like that all of the time. He's just
Hmm.
undersized. But Brunson, you get shifted, you're undersized, you're heavier, you're slower. You really there's nothing that I can positively say about you on defense. So with that being said, do you think that's why they got rid of him in Dallas?
I think that's partly the reason they got rid of him in Dallas.
Okay.
I think the real reason they got rid of him in Dallas is because they were trying to build the team around Luca
Mm-hmm.
and trying to save as much money as they could so they could give it to Luca. But
True.
then after they traded Jalen Brunson, then Luca's defense really started getting exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, well, we're not giving this man 200, $300 million because he can't play defense to save his life.
Exactly.
And
Dallas
then
escaped two bullets.
yeah, and then yeah, so they tried to, like you said, they tried to kill two birds with one stone. Hopefully if we get rid of one bad defender, then the other bad defender will be it better. But he actually got worse.
Yep.
No, because that's when everything's exposed. When you have two bad apples, they kind of mask each other because you're so busy looking at one, you don't realize the other one is just as bad. When
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
remove, like you said, you remove one, everything kind of gets like, oh, wait a minute, forget you being bad, you were just as bad.
You was just
mm.
Like,
hiding.
and,
no,
You was
and
hiding.
see and that and see they used Jalen Brunson as a scapegoat
Mm-hmm.
to protect Luca.
Easy. It's easy to do it, but then when he left, got to see. But
Now
now
you
we
got to
both
see.
got to see this year from both of them, man. They both were
Yeah,
defensive liabilities. We got to
yeah,
see it one after
exactly.
the other. The first
yeah,
one where LA got swept out of here, took on out of this place like that, and then the other one what we see from the Knicks now. And if it
yeah.
wasn't for the rest of that team, like I said, when
Man,
those guys go, when Jalen Brunson leaves the game, their defense steps up. That's what keeps them and kept them in those series. If he
That's
had to play 42 minutes or 48 minutes a game, they would lose every time. Even
and see
without his
that
foul trouble,
and
it'll
see
just
that's
be no fouls because he's not doing any defense.
And see, that's the thing. You have to understand. The Knicks have three of probably the best. They have probably the best three wing defenders in the NBA.
Yep,
In Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby.
that is the truth.
But when Jalen Brunson is on the court, it seems like the defense tries to pick on him
Hmm.
because they know that he's a liability.
Yep,
And like you said,
attack him.
when he's off the court, and those three are on the court, then you gonna have a time trying to get your shot up.
Hmm.
Because we saw in that last series against Boston, like Mikal Bridges was dogging on defense.
Right.
Like OG Anunoby was dog even in game one of this series. Like, did y'all see that block he did? That man came
Yep.
from like under the basket
Yep.
and flew halfway across the court to block to get that block.
Denied.
Denied.
He wasn't
Like,
playing with it.
not the
like
deny button.
yeah.
And T, over your point when you said the earlier in the season he wasn't like that, and I believe it was, the scouting report during the season is harder. Well, not harder, it's different. During the season they're trying to stop him from scoring the points that he has based off of who they played the last game.
Mm,
In the playoffs, we're scouting you off of what we did to stop you, what you did that last game, and now they're seeing, well, he didn't stop anybody, and when he got in foul trouble, he stopped playing defense.
hmm
So what they
So let's
did, they
keep going. Let's
started
go at them
attacking
all.
him early,
hmm
and then they started on defense pressuring him more.
hmm
And when you have that different scouting report like that, you can mix it up. You can do all those things, and that's why I think Tibbs is doing a great job. But he got to get Brunson out of there sooner when he gets those fouls, because when you
Yeah.
let him play through it, his mind isn't there. Like JLE the three says, his mind isn't there. He's thinking, I don't want to get in foul trouble. Well, sit on the bench. You're not here to play
Exactly.
timid. This is the playoffs, bro.
Now,
If
And
this
let
was like
everybody
football,
let everybody else.
Bump just the playoffs. It's the Eastern Conference Finals, bro.
yeah. And
We got a chance to go to the NBA Finals for the
if
first
this
time since 1973.
That's right.
Hello.
And if
Like,
this
come
was
on.
the NFL, think about it. This win or go home there.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
win or
Exactly.
go home. There's
Yeah,
none of this
it's
extra
only one
stuff out
game.
there.
Yeah, it's only one game in the NFL playoffs. Y'all got potentially 7 in the NBA playoffs.
For real.
Not even that.
Like,
You got a chance to bring New York, put New York back in the forefront in sports talk and that dominance. Something they haven't been in the last 10 years, because even the Yankees have been sliding off and whatnot. So you got the Yankees slide, you got the Giants slide, you got the Knicks slide, you got the hope of
Look,
New York
the,
fans
the
behind
only good
you.
the only good thing that has come out of New York in the last 10 years are the New York
Liberty.
Liberty. Are the
It's
New York
Liberty.
Liberty.
right. That's
It's
true.
Liberty. So I'm
That's true.
saying.
Or
And we struggling
look,
to get
or
our recognition on that end. So if you got everybody watching, you playing like absolute crap.
the
And it's
last best
not
thing that
helping.
came out of
You're
New York
supposed to be
was
the quarterback of the court.
can't do it. So I'd say the last
No.
good thing to come out of there was Julius Randle. He got out of there.
Yeah, so you see what had happened.
Now the jury's still out on who won that trade
That's why I
between.
would have liked to see them in the finals, New York versus
Me too.
Minnesota, so
Me
we can
too.
get to the bottom of it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
who won that trade? But yeah,
right.
because
I think
now Cat is doing his thing in New York.
hmm
Most of the time,
hmm he's
and
like Randall. He got to be more
yeah,
consistent. That's the truth.
and Randall he can show flashes too. So
hmm
yeah, so the jury's still out about who won that trade.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, but the best thing that came out of New York in the last 10 years are the New York Liberty.
Yeah, that's true, man. I
So
can't
like I
argue
said,
with that at all, man.
So shout out to Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, and the crew.
So quickly, y'all,
like I said,
where do
if
y'all
you gonna
think?
do that,
Oh, go ahead, T. Go ahead, T. I'll wait till
like
you
I said, if
finish.
you gonna be that, you want to be the ones to be talking about. This is your chance to put the Knicks back in that glory, in them conversations of old, and you ain't helping out anything, brother. Not at all.
Bro,
That's my rant on that.
If the Knicks win the title this year, Jalen Brunson is an automatic Hall of Famer. Like that whole team, they might as well just put the whole team in the Hall of Fame if they win the championship. Because it's been so long for New York.
You can't stay out of foul trouble. That ain't going to worry about that. Like I said, I don't see this going to game 7. I see this going to a game 5. And
Yeah, well, the way the
and
Knicks are playing right now, it ain't gonna go to 7.
so I'm just saying, this is me. Okay, what was you getting ready to say, Pete, before I went on my little rant? I'm sorry. Where you go?
I don't know where you go.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Oh,
Okay.
I got a quick question for y'all.
uh-oh.
They say that Giannis Antetokounmpo is on the move. Where did y'all see him going? He's open to have talks about his free agency or whatever, and he wants to go to a contender. I don't think he wants to play with any superstars like that. I think he just wants a team that he can have a chance with. I don't think the Dame project with him worked at all. And if anybody was to ask me, I think Dame should have stayed in Portland.
Yeah.
I
Nah,
really do think he should
nah,
have stayed in Portland because him leaving, it was actually worse. When you
nah. Well,
go to a spot with a better superstar and you had a worse, this was like the worst I've seen him since he came into the league, barring the injuries. When he was even playing, he didn't look as good as he did out there. And I think Portland could have did a better job of getting them help, but I don't think that project right there worked at all. I thought that was kind of up for it. Then they got Kuzma with it. He really didn't do anything. So I don't know if it was them
I
being
don't know
there
why
or
they
was it
made
the
that trade.
coaching, man.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
why
what that was.
I don't know why they made that trade.
Right, and then when you look at Kuzma's normally a better player, but I don't know. Like I said, do y'all think that's the coaching where he couldn't just? Who
I
is
think
that up there? Is that Doc Rivers up there?
Yeah, it's Doc.
Look, he never can play his players the right. He only did it once with Boston. Otherwise, that
Because
he's led people there and lost and looked at the end like, well, I don't know what
you see
happened,
how
but
he was when he
we
was
got to
when
be
he was
better.
coaching the Clippers. The Clippers had a decent team, but they didn't have the players weren't utilized correctly when he was
Same
coaching the
thing is
well,
when
Clippers.
he was in
see
Philly. When he
the
was in
thing
Philly,
about
it was the same thing.
the thing about Boston is when he coached Boston,
Hmm.
everybody kind of knew what their role was in Boston.
Right.
Rondo was the point guard. He dished the offense. He ran the offense. Ray Allen was the shooter. He stand on the perimeter and gets the ball, shoot three. Then he had Paul Pierce,
Mm-hmm.
who everybody knew was the star of Boston,
Yep.
and then KG, who was the dog in the post.
The big ticket, and you got Perk out there backing him.
Yeah, and then you got Big Perk. But the other teams that he's coached, like you said, when he went to Philly, he had James. Didn't one? I think he was coaching when James Harden was there, wasn't?
Uh-huh.
Or
He
had he
had
got? Or
Paul
had,
Pierce.
yeah, yeah. So he was coaching with James Harden and Joel Embiid, who cannot for the life of him stay healthy.
Exactly. I don't think that was a good team right there anyway. I
That
don't
was
think
it.
it's
Wasn't it?
I think
Wasn't.
I think Harden should have never left Houston.
Mm-mm. Oh no, yeah, that's true. He should never left Houston.
His career's
'Cause-
been horrible since he left. He's
Yeah,
been like a liability what happened to you. Billy
yeah.
can still score, but it hasn't been the same. I would have stayed in Houston, got that tax free money, and been the team leader there. Who
Oh
cares about the losses?
God. Oh God.
For real, all of that stuff you did, all you did with it to me, it almost like you tore up your legacy because you didn't win
Yeah,
anything. You left to
yeah.
get a championship. Well, I would have stayed for the money, knowing that where you went,
Oh God.
everything was just a horrible project.
Yeah. And now look at what would happen. Look what would have happened if he stayed in Houston with the team they got now.
Right. Because that's all they need is that one that superstar.
Hmm.
I think he would have fit well with those pieces out there. I really do. And Houston is a younger team. They're going to be something in the future to look out for. I
Yeah.
think they're going to get better. They got some good draft picks coming up.
Yep.
They'll be pretty good.
But to answer your Giannis question,
Hmm.
I actually put this in the chat. It was kind of long the last time y'all talked about this, but I think, and really it's not a bias just because they're my team, but I think Giannis will be a good fit for the Chicago Bulls
Now that right there makes a hell of a lot of sense. I
because because now you think about it, Chicago is young.
hmm
They have a young team, but Milwaukee's getting older.
Yep.
Giannis is getting older.
Hmm.
So now, if he goes to Chicago, he has a when Milwaukee was at their best the year they won the championship. They had Chris Middleton, they had Giannis, they had Portis, they had Brook
Holiday.
Lopez, they had Drew Holiday. They had a squad. Now, if he goes to Chicago, he'll have somewhat of the same team he had in Milwaukee the year he won the championship.
Young,
Because you
scrappy
got Vucevic,
players.
because you got Vucevic,
Hmm.
who is a versatile big like Brook Lopez was.
Yep.
He
Inside,
can
outside.
defend. Yeah, he can defend. He can rebound. He can block shots when needed, and he can hit the three when needed.
Hmm.
And then you got Giannis. He'll obviously play power forward. And then I don't know who they would have playing small forward. I think they might have Josh Giddey playing small forward,
Hmm.
who is a dog on defense and who is a triple threat danger on any given night.
Barbecue chicken.
And then you got Kobe White and Ayu Dosunmu. Now Kobe White really came into his own last year.
Hmm.
At the final stretch of the season, Kobe White came into his own. So he should just get better from here. And they got that young boy, Matthias.
Yep. And you throw Giannis in
So
that mix.
yeah,
I'm with you on that.
you put Giannis in that mix, and he can be a mentor to Matthias.
So were you saying that? Because the next person I was going to ask you about KD, and I was going to say that I think either or would be a good fit for Chicago.
I do too. Yeah, I think KD would be a good fit in Chicago,
I
too.
I really do. I really do. And I didn't. I was going to say where was he going to go, but that's where I was thinking as a surprise to throw it out there because I don't see. Well, otherwise Chicago. The only other place I'd want to see him, I want to see him reunite with Steph.
Yeah, yeah.
I
and
like
and
to see
also
what him, Steph, and Jimmy buckets and my boy
Ooh, that'd be
Draymond would do out there.
nice.
You know,
and I-
they'd have a nice little squad like that.
yeah,
That'd be nice.
and also Chicago would have the cap space for
Hmm.
either Giannis or KD. because
Exactly.
all of their players are young and most of them are still on rookie
Yep,
contracts.
That
exactly.
is
And
true.
that's part of the best part of the game. And if you got a chance to get that superstar out of one of them two,
And that actually
I
be
would go
better.
with Giannis because he's younger.
Yeah, I would
He's
go.
younger,
I would go.
but
With,
you
I would
wouldn't
go with
lose with
Giannis.
either one.
Yeah,
It'd be
I
a
would go
win
with.
with either.
I would go with Giannis before I go with KD
Hmm.
because Giannis because Giannis is a dominant post player. He's not really a perimeter threat. But Chicago has perimeter shooters, and that's what Giannis needs. I believe that's what Giannis needs to succeed. He
Yep.
needs perimeter shooters.
Yep.
Yeah, because
So
if you can bring out and focus on the perimeter, that opens up the inside. And like you said, with the cap space, that allows them to play with that. They're essentially they're playing with house money at that point.
exactly, exactly, and I like P said, I believe the Bulls are a superstar away from at least contending. Because now they in the play in, they be in the play in every year. But now, mind you, Miami has been their Achilles heel for the past 4 years. But they're in the play. They've been in the play in for the past 4 years. So I think if they just get that one player, that one superstar player, they could actually contend in the playoffs.
Hmm. I really do believe it. And like
Mhm.
we talking about now, that one player could be either or, and I think they
Yeah,
would contend. But I'm with you on that. If they got Giannis, that contention would be a whole lot stronger.
yeah, yeah,
It'll be a whole
yeah.
lot stronger.
Yeah, so Chicago is my pick.
All right, I got one more
I'll
topic.
agree with that.
I got one more topic before we get out of here, man. I talked about it this other night on the show. But J Leader 3, man, you know those Asia Wilsons dropped. You know they sold
Yeah,
out really,
yeah.
really fast. And we
Shout
were
out to
talking about getting
Hey,
the pair. I'm
Shout out to Asia, man.
Yeah,
Like
definitely, man.
I'm glad she finally I'm glad they're finally giving her the respect that she deserves.
Yeah,
Carolina's own.
I ain't lying. She did her thing and with her shoes. I was asking guys, would y'all get a pair? Because they're basketball shoes. I don't think basketball shoes are made in the shape for women or men. And some guys was like, you wear girl shoes, girls wear guys shoes. This is basketball we're talking about. The colors, everybody
I get
wears
this.
all colors. That's why I said I'd get the pair of the pink ones. And then they were
I'm
like, they got
good.
them in royal blue. I said, well, I'll have to get those too because those are the
Right,
colors like that. But
right.
I
I,
want to
look,
get a
I,
pair of those Asia Wilsons, man. I don't
yeah,
even want to
I
wear them.
get this.
Just want to hang them in the back so they can see that I got them up there repping that SC up there, man.
Ooh, I got a pair of Sabrina Ionescu's
Right.
Sabrina Ionescu shoes.
What's wrong with that? Like I said, I think they're
Right.
basketball shoes. If you got a problem with that, it's just something to do with the person. I'll rock them. I'll
Yeah,
rock them. I'm that
right,
type of
right,
person. If it
right.
look
Yeah, I
good
don't care.
on me, I'm wearing it.
I'm God. I don't care. I don't care if the play. I don't care if the player's a man or a woman. If they got good looking shoes, they got good looking shoes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So
I,
for the
I
go ahead,
want
T.
them. I want them, and it was so bad. Like we went shopping because your girl's phone died. Like it was dying. So she got spoiled and was able to be blessed with a new phone. And as we were, walking, I will say this, he let me go to every shoe store I could find to see if somebody just so happened to got a pair in and whatnot. I'm currently on the waiting list.
Yeah,
Mine's
yeah.
mine is
They sold
coming.
out.
Mine is coming. I've been searching and searching. He was like, he saw the Sabrinas, he saw the other ones. He's like, let's get these. I want the A1s.
She want them Asians first. Yeah.
I was like little kid pouting. He was like, all right, we don't get them. So,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm waiting on them shoes. And for no other reason, because I remember being a kid and I had the Cheryl Swoops. Okay. I had
Hmm.
Cheryl Swoop shoes.
Shout out to
And
Cheryl.
no other reason getting them is she put in the work.
Yep.
Asia put in the work. Asia has been, she rode her time at Carolina, and when it was time, she was the breakout at Carolina. That was that first squad that won the first NCAA championship. Her and Kayla Davis and all of them. That was that, and Kiki, Mad Kiki, and all of them. That was that first, real squad. So, and then for her to go number one draft pick that year, go number draft pick, and then really just buy her time with the Aces. And not only did she buy into the Aces bought into her.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And to be able to go and be the Olympic and whatnot, and just do the things that she's done, write a book, and just how she's carried herself and carried her it carried the weight and everything with grace. It's a
Her
beautiful
play.
thing to see that her being rewarded in the way that she's being rewarded, and for the shoes to do the way they did and come out and just. And this was within like 5 minutes of it freaking even being available.
Right. I think that's a
Yeah.
testament of her game translating to the NBA, like you said, the work. Because if you look at it, and I'll make this comparison, you look at Angel Reese. Her star power from college to NBA is dropped because her style of play has dropped. Everybody see you missing all these layups and getting rebounds off of it like that. We don't see that from Asia. Nah, we don't see that from Asia. We see a baller out there on both
Yeah.
ends of the court. We see a leader. We see a perfect player off the court and on the court. In the locker room, her teammates have nothing but great things to say about it. All around the league, the players have nothing but great things to say about it. If you ask me, she right now is the face of the WNBA.
And
Yeah.
she should be. And it's
Not even
like
close.
I said before on our last podcast, it is I blame media and the narrative, the way the narrative and the narratives that are being pushed versus what the actuality, the actual
What it
meaning
is.
Smoke and mirrors.
of it
Smoke
is.
and mirrors. Smoke
And
and
with
mirrors.
it's smoke and mirrors. And when it comes to Angel, and the problem is a lot of people don't, and I think a lot of people don't understand.
Oh, please. Please.
No. Let me finish before you get to what I. Let me say what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is not what I with Angel and as well as other players. This is not the Angel Caitlyn issue. Angel's a good player in home right. Caitlin's a good player in right. They pitting them against each other. They're not the same thing. But what I'm saying is, not all players game as much as we would like them to, and it's the same with the NBA and the same with the NFL. What's in college doesn't always translate to professional. So you're gonna have to do the work. The one thing I can say with Angel, is her playing with Unrivaled and working with post players such as Lisa Leslie has had some improvement. Is it what at the rate and pace that everybody is expected to? No. Do I think it can get better? Yes, I do. I think with her playing like that, but at the same time, it's just like with there's a whole bunch of players, even that have come through in various games where their college game did not translate to the WNBA. That's the reason Lexus Morris came out of LSU and Baylor. Her game didn't translate very well. As great as Kiki is, Kiki's game didn't translate very well. She came out of Don Staley's camp. So it's a matter of your game translate. The game doesn't always translate. It's not always a seamless transition. And you can either work to make it translate to where you can be an effective player, or it's going to continue and you're going to be kind of mediocre and whatnot, kind of like we see some of the players in the NBA do and whatnot. Some of the
You'll be able to
Christian
stay,
Laettner
but you
was
won't be able to
great
stay
in
at a
college,
high
but it
level.
didn't translate to the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What's
Darrell
one
said
guard out of
100.
Duke? He was a dirty player. His game was decent in college, but it didn't necessarily translate. Gray, I think his last name is.
You talking about Christian Laettner?
Laettner's
He
game was
didn't
great,
really. Yeah, he did.
but it didn't translate to the NBA the way
After he played with the Dream Team, nobody knew nothing about him. They even
Exactly.
got 30, they got a 30 for 30 out for him called
Thank
I
you,
Hate
Mr.
Christian Laettner.
Kaufman. I appreciate you. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
he definitely said it doesn't translate. And on the translation and what you were saying about that, how some of the things are overshadowed. One of the main things that's overshadowed right now, the first 5 games that Caitlin Clark is beneath Paige Becker's points, assists, and games.
Turnover.
Nobody said
turnover.
anything about it.
Turnover ratio.
You had 10
she-
turnovers in the game the other day.
Yeah,
Right.
her assist to turnover ratio is worse. Is actually worse than Paige Becker's is.
She's out there
It's
balling
because
like
she's
crazy right now.
she's a shooter. She's not a pure shooter. She is a shooter. She's
Right.
a shooting guard. I don't think she's a shooter. But the problem is with her, and it's the same way with
Mm-hmm.
Brunson. They can shoot. Their defense is crap.
Yeah.
And not just that, like you said, that transitioning over. The only reason that they can't get to the league and do that because these ain't college players. And them girls, they out to get you. But we see the difference when you're a baller like that, and there's no smoke and mirrors. You're gonna play ball on every level. But when you're being hyped, when you're being praised, like LeBron James, when that defense gets on you, They're gonna be asking questions. What's going on with this person right here? They're
Mm-hmm.
smoking mirrors. Look at what he's doing at this age. Then you look at what he's doing on defense. He ain't doing nothing at that age, but letting people blow by. Come on now, let's talk
That's
about the
Asia,
because
whole
he's
game instead of what
40.
you want to.
and
That's
Asia
because
has
he's 40. He needs to sit his ass down somewhere.
Right.
Look,
Even when he was younger, he never locked nobody up. This man
he
got
really
took to the
did.
cup by whoop whoop. Remember when they played Dallas and he was
By,
guarding the little guy
by
out there? What's
J.J.
his name?
Barea. By
J.J.
J.J.
Burr.
Barea.
That's why I call him J.J. Burr. He put the
exactly.
man. Come on, man. That man could only
So,
score 8 points, and this
and when
is
you
when you
put
were in your prime.
when
Yeah.
you put things like that, that's what makes the Asia situation kind of for me because it's representation and it's the hard work. Like her game translated, and it got not only did it translate, but it got better. And sometimes it is the fact of where you go because when you pour into where you're at, and that team pours into you, it makes for a better all-around relationship, and that's one of the things that's also about relationship. But that's why I'm so happy for Asia to have the shoes, to have the statue, to have the book, to have everything and what a lot of people don't know is her commercial was shot right here in Columbia. That's her parents in the video. The pictures in the background that you see in the church, that's her grandparents.
He said,
Look at
he said translate.
before the WC. Exactly. Like
Said,
Brees Hall
college,
is
he said,
Brees
look
Hall
at
is
the
a
college players
defender.
that's cut before the WNBA
Yeah,
season
yeah,
this year.
yeah, because they cut Cheyenne Sellers.
She was a seat bug and she's a defender. That girl can play defense as well. She has a perimeter shot. And she was cut. Deja Kelly, who I thought was a great addition to out there in Vegas, ended up being cut. Cheyenne Sellers got drafted and she was at both teams. And yes, she was hurt, but I think she would have been a great fit if you added her along with Pow Pow. And whatnot. Like Pow Pow is another one. People slept on Pow Pow was great out in Oregon. When she came to Carolina, she got better. And people go, well, oh, I don't know if her game's gonna translate. If you watch how she's playing with the Dream and Ryan Howard,
She hurt right now.
she
She
hurt.
hurt right now.
But
Yeah,
before
she
the
hurt right.
injury, before
She
the
hurt.
Yeah,
injury, she was
yeah, she
translating
got
like a
she got
mug.
she got hurt in their last game they played against
Right in the
Dallas.
face. Yeah, she got hit in the face. So they didn't let her back out on the floor, which is I think is worth because facial injuries, you have to understand you got your nose, your eyes, there's too many things in facial. As a shooter, you need to have all of that. So
Yeah.
but I'm saying her game
He said some of those girls was dogs in college that didn't even make the NBA.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's why I love the WNBA because it's all ballers out there. And like that point that I was making, T, with the Final Four in the NBA with the younger players out there, they're more playing like how the WNBA is with OKC and with Indiana because they're more complete teams. They're not going for highlights. They're going for team victories.
Yeah.
They're playing with
You look at their
they're playing
team
with a hunger we
leaders.
haven't seen.
You look at SGA and you look at Halliburton. That's their leaders on their team and Miles Turner. But they're not super duper stars out there, and they're willing to play the team role to get that dub for the team instead of the personal accolades for self. Because when you're sitting in Cabo and you're eating lunch on the beach, wondering what happened, you didn't take care of your team. You didn't take care of your team. You took care of yourself, and it showed. It really did show. He also said team play versus star watching. Exactly,
Exactly.
bro. Exactly, bro. And that's why the ratings in the NBA were down versus the WNBA being up and the WNCAA being up. It's going to continue that.
They're playing that hunger we haven't seen in quite a while. That grit. That let's get in the dirt and grime and let's pull this out.
But I was shaking my head when T was talking about Angel Reese because I have a huge problem with the Chicago Sky right now.
Let's go.
Like their coach, Tyler Marsh.
Oh, their coach
He was
sucks.
he was an assistant coach with the Las Vegas Aces. Won a championship with the Las Vegas Aces, which means he's worked with Asia Wilson.
Right.
Now, if that's the case, I'm sure Chicago hired you to work with Angel Reese because I guess they want to turn Angel Reese into the next Asia Wilson, which is not possible because Asia Wilson is just phenomenal, and Angel Reese can get there.
I think she can get
But,
better. I don't ever see her on Asia Wilson's game. Asia Wilson,
No.
like I said, she's
And I
the
don't-
face of the league.
that's not fair,
style
but
play.
you
She's
have
face
two
of the
bigs.
league
You have
style play
Angel-
versus a very good big. You know, I
got
Yeah.
Angel
can't take
and
away from
Carmella.
Angel Reese.
And Camilla
good.
Cardoso,
Like
yeah.
you said, her mom was dope too, but Angel Reese is another level. I mean, if you played them one-on-one, Angel Reese is going to lose all day. She's not going
Yeah,
to win
and
one of
that's
those
hey,
games.
Yeah.
She
no
will
one's
not do it.
no
Asia can
no
shoot.
argument here.
Asia is inside, mid range, and outside. She can do it
Mhm.
all. She can defend. She's man. I mean, there's nothing she can't do. Where
Yeah.
Angel, we can see she has a lower floor, but her ceiling
Mhm.
isn't as high. Angel Reese
Yeah.
has man. The sky's the limit for her because she's there now and she's getting better every year. She's working
Mhm.
on her game. She's taking her weaknesses and we're seeing them get better. Where Angel Reese, it's all a weakness and it's all getting better. And I'm not
Mhm.
taking away from her game because she's young. She is getting better, but Angel Reese came in the league that person. She came in the league her, and she's getting better as her right now. We're watching this
Yeah.
That's
duel.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I said.
That,
When you
and
look
that's
at it,
true.
there's never gonna be anybody that's magic. You're gonna be close. You may get it, in the shadow, but you're never gonna be magic.
Yep.
There's never gonna be Asia. It's nobody's gonna be Asia, but Angel can, like you said, can get better. But when it comes to what you were saying on Chicago Sky, what I don't like, and what I don't appreciate is you have Angel, you have Camilla, you have Cardoso, who is was
Well,
a
now,
is
come well now.
he's a
And
home run,
look at
but you're
what.
not utilizing them. You're not playing them. You're not. There's that whole way that they're coaching. I have a problem because you're not coaching the team to where
But
they can be utilized.
And that's true. That's why Darrell said Cardozo is the secret weapon, and we're not sleeping on her.
now
The
we're not
sky's
now we're
sleeping
not
on her.
we're not
Yeah.
sleeping on Camila Cardoso, but I will say this about Camila Cardoso. She is not using her 6'7" frame like
Yep.
she should be.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. And he said
Like
her
like
position will get better with her in the paint.
if you look at the way Camila Cardoso plays, it's like she can play, but she's inconsistent,
Yep.
and it's like the way she's moving around on the court. It's like it's clumsy.
Right.
It's like, man, why are you 6'7"? Like, what are you doing for real?
Mm-hmm.
Because now because she can rebound, she can shoot in the post. But if you see her play, it's like she makes all these silly mistakes,
That's true.
and she looks clumsy. But she's young; she'll get better.
She looked
And
better last year than she does
yeah,
this year. Like I said, and I
yeah,
think this coaching.
and it's
Like
coaching
you said,
because
same thing with
and
Doc
my
Rivers. This isn't about players' potential. This is
no,
about coaching. When you don't coach your players' potential and help find their, it's like a teacher. When your goal is to, and you coaching, your goal is to find what your players' strengths are, so you can enhance them
enhance.
and what
Mm-hmm.
their weakness is, so that you can make it better. And this is
Mm-hmm.
not being done. Yes,
And that's,
these are grown women. Yes, this is professional basketball, but at the same time, it's still basketball. It's still a team sport. It's still about cohesiveness and making sure the weaknesses aren't exposed by the other team. And you're getting exposed every which
every
way but loose
single
because
game.
you are not utilizing your players in the way that they can be utilized. You're not picking up to their strengths, so where you can put forth a cohesive game plan that even gives you a way to contend with it. And it's the same way. You know who else has that same problem? The Golden State
Mm.
Valkyries. They're
Yeah.
having that very same problem because their coaching
Yep.
is great. And she was with the Aces as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing because now I think it's because the Aces have been great for so long that they think that everybody that comes out the Aces is great, but they're not.
Nope.
This ain't Don Staley when she popping out, or even Kyle Shanahan where they're popping out defensive, coaches and whatnot who can go on and
Mm-mm.
be head coaches in other spots. This ain't. It doesn't. It's not just like players games don't translate. All coaches, all assistants
They
don't
don't.
translate.
They don't
Yeah,
translate. They don't translate to head coaching to head coaches.
Exactly. And we seen that with them
But
too.
my main issue with Tyler Marsh as the head coach of the Chicago Sky is he does not know when to play the right players.
Right.
That game they played against Indiana was atrocious. It was ridiculous. Why in the world would you let Courtney Vandersloot stay on the floor for as long as she did, shooting as bad as she was?
I mean, just jacking from everywhere, man. Come
Like,
on, man.
and then he didn't even play Haley Van Lith until like the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, and she went out there and scored 4 quick points. So now imagine if you would have had her come in the game sooner, how many points she would have scored? And now don't get me wrong, Courtney Vandersloot, she can shoot three. That's her bread and butter, and she can also pass the ball. So that's great. But if you clearly see her out there struggling to shoot the ball, why do you still have her in the game?
Right.
And also, Courtney Vandersloot's getting older. She's not a rookie. Like she's not a rookie or a second year player. Like Haley Van Lith and them. She's getting older.
Yes, let's
So
put it.
so you have to help your players when you know they're struggling. Don't let them continue to struggle because then they keep jacking up shots. They keep missing. Now it's going to affect their confidence.
Like I said, just like players don't translate to all players' game don't translate to the professional level. All assistants don't translate to that top spot.
They really don't. They really don't. And the fact that they fired Teresa Weatherspoon and then didn't resign Kennedy Carter. Like, come on now.
But that was personal.
Yeah, I understand. No, it was personal. Yeah, I understand that.
That was
But
personal. Teaspoon took up for her players, and Teaspoon was that inside. She was that perimeter, that post player. Teaspoon, remember Teaspoon was with New York when the league first came out. So that was a personal issue.
yeah,
Yep,
they're not coaching her right.
Yeah,
They are not coaching her right.
And he also said Cardozo went to China to play last
She
summer.
did.
She looks a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
she
always
did.
it's always the players you see take that time in the off season to go play, whether it's Olympics or what's that the big three, not the big three,
The
but what's
Unrivaled.
Unrivaled.
when you see the players that
And
get
then you
into
have
that, you can see
unlimited. You have the
growth.
unlimited league also, which I think if they would put unlimited at the same time and let that be a G League, that would develop some of these players, especially if they're starting to get more of these expansion teams. That would give more of what you're looking for and give you more of that. Okay, the battle. But the other problem with the WNBA is too, and I blame the commissioner media is you can't expect to grow a league, expect to really get the league what they do or not when you got 3 games on at the same time and they're all on they're on channels where it's hard to find.
Yeah, no mainstream. Yeah, you're right. You got to
No.
have your best games on TV in
Yeah,
order to get those ratings up. And I
I mean,
think
yeah,
shout out to
I think that
Ion for
that's a
putting it
start.
on.
I think that's
yeah,
a
Shout out,
start.
yeah.
You know,
shout out to
getting
Ion for at least putting it on and playing because if you got Ion, you can find them. But even then, it's here and there, and
I
they
think their
want you to play
contracts to
for
get. I
the
think their
league
contracts
pass.
to get better because, like how we've been saying, you got Asia and the players are getting so much better. The views are coming, and like the regular TV ones are coming up. You can see the ratings being added, and I think the reason they're not really pushing them like that is because they're trying to save the downfall of what we know as the NBA so far. And they're just trying to push them more and make them hold off a little bit more just till they get back right or in a little bit more of a stable position. Because
What?
once that WNBA takes off like we know it is, we don't know what's going to happen to the NBA with all of the money, the players load
What?
managing. Nobody's watching the All Star game anymore. A lot of the times where their money is there, it's like it's being wasted putting on prime time when a lot of the stars aren't even playing when you're looking for them to play.
But
Like the
that's not
All
the
game. How you
WNBA's
gonna
fault
forget
though.
the All Star
That's
game?
not the WNBA's fault though. That's the NBA's fault.
Well, as far as the
Like,
ratings or anything,
yes, that's the
well,
NBA's fault.
I can't place the blame because they earned the right to be on the TV like that. But right now, what we talking about with them not having any games that's on TV,
Listen,
with the women,
listen,
go ahead.
but listen. The problem with the NBA is those players are soft.
Mm-hmm.
There was a segment the other day on First Take with Stephen A, Jay Williams, and Michael Wilbon, and they were talking about the MVP award. They said that the last 7 MVPs, so for the last 7 years, the MVP is somebody who was born outside of the United States.
Yep, foreign and the runners ups were too.
Yeah, so you got Jokic had 3, Giannis got 2, Embiid and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
And Giannis.
And I said Giannis because
Yeah, my
Giannis
fault.
has 2.
Uh
Giannis
huh.
has 2. Jokic has 3, so that's 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then Embiid got 1, that's 6, and now Shea, that's 7.
Exactly.
So, and they were asking, has basketball in America gotten soft?
Yes.
I think the league has gotten soft, and a lot of
The
the
league,
players with a lot of the players with the league getting soft went ahead and took that, and that started. I'll tell you exactly where it started when Kawhi Leonard left from San Antonio the first time, and in his contract became load managed.
mm-hmm.
Before then,
Yeah,
people were trying to take the LeBron route when they were just sometimes doing it. When I don't, I'm a superstar. But before then, that was load manage wasn't a phrase, wasn't a
it
thing,
wasn't.
or
It
any of
wasn't a
that.
thing. It didn't even exist.
Right? It was
If you could play,
non-existent, bro.
if you could play, you could play. Even if
Right?
you were hurt, if you felt like you could play, you played.
Yep. It's because,
But
like
now,
I know, it's a difference between injured and hurt.
yeah.
A
But
lot
now,
of
but
players play
nowadays,
hurt, but injured, I can understand that. But his players
exactly.
now,
Yeah.
they'll hurt their thumb. I'm gonna go ahead and sit on down, man. You don't even need to be in the league, man.
Right. Right.
If
I
you
mean,
can't
right.
get a team and the fans who are paying your paycheck what they're asking of you, we don't
Yeah.
need you.
Yeah. And see, and that's the difference between the NBA and the WNBA. The one thing these girls will do is they will play.
Hmm.
And
That's
that's the
true.
problem with the NBA. The WNBA, these girls will play. These NBA players, like you said, if they hurt their thumb, my pinky toe hurt. Oh, I'm gonna sit out for two, 3 games. Like,
Yep.
sir, like, man, if you don't get your ass off on somewhere,
Just get on out of here, man. We don't need none of that out here, man. We don't
and
need none of that.
that's why I was saying that's more like the whole ratings thing. That's more the NBA's fault than it is the WNBA
Right.
because the NBA players have gotten soft. They don't
Hmm.
believe in competition anymore. Now that they got these $200-300 million contracts, they done got comfortable and they done got soft.
Yep. I think I can, yeah, I can agree with that. And I can also say in 5 years from now, it's going to be balanced. And after that, it'll probably be
I wouldn't
going
be
up.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised in 5 years if the WNBA is more popular than the NBA is.
I think it's going to be more popular because women outnumber men. And now
Well,
what we have, more women are being brought onto it. And, once they do get to that point where they're on TV like that, you'll see the NBA try to get a surge. They're going to try to make the game a little bit stronger than how it was. And that's why I said after that, that's going to be the separation. You're going to see if that you being weak out here, y'all need to play like these girls are playing. Otherwise,
mhm,
that you're gonna see it go just like how you said. You're gonna see the girls go up and the guys continue to go down. Because
yep.
this is what T had made a valid point on, and this makes more sense today than any other time. The women, when they're playing and they're doing all of this, they're getting paid less. They're going through more physical things because all of their stars are out there all of the time. When the men, they're not even playing against the best at all time. And this isn't just the regular season. This also in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The best times of the year, your team's not even there. You got them. You can't even get guys to play for an in-season tournament for an extra $100,000. What's that mean? The
But
brand is
no,
Right,
but
going
with the
down.
whole 101 for what it was, an extra 250,000.
You know what I mean? That means the league
yeah.
is going down. They don't even want to do it for themselves. Not
But see
alone
that's
to talk about the fans.
that's the thing though. Has the NBA gotten so bad that you need a play-in tournament?
Yes, with that load
And that
management and
or that you need not even play that the it's not the playing tournament. That's not what I meant. The in season tournament is what I meant.
yeah,
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 like
I
has
don't
the league got
think it's gotten so
like
bad
are
as
people
much as
like,
the
like
players themselves have gotten so complacent with, oh, I'm still going to get this and I'm still going to get that. It's like they've lost the desire or hunger almost that what
right.
brought
Because
them
yeah.
then
to their
remember,
love
it's
of the
like
game and what brought them to the court.
I got a solution for all of it. Give them NFL contracts. If you're gonna make all of this money, all of it ain't
Yep.
guaranteed. That's
Yep.
the difference.
Hello.
Yep.
All their
Yep.
money is guaranteed, and all they're
Yeah,
guaranteed is they're gonna load
all their
manage.
money, yeah, all their money's guaranteed. That's what they need to do. They
All
need to get them
guaranteed.
NFL
You're gonna have
contracts.
to prove it. You're gonna have to
Yep,
prove it, bro. Yeah, you
yep,
can get a max, but it ain't guaranteed. You're gonna get
yep,
incentives, you're gonna
yep.
play, and you're gonna get that. We're not gonna give you all of that because the league needs to change. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to change when you guaranteeing people money and then giving them days off. Guaranteed means you guaranteed to play when
Exactly.
you're able to play. It doesn't mean you get to tell the league, I don't care about the collection bargains agreement or none of that. The league is the league. You're playing for the NBA, not for the collective bargain agreement. You're not,
Mm-hmm.
and that's to look out for the players, but also the players have to look out for the brand.
Mm-hmm.
And when your brand is going down, you got to look at yourself. It's not the
Yeah, yeah,
league.
yeah. You
It's
got to
yourself.
yourself.
I'm with you 100% on that.
Yeah.
That's all around the board with us on that. And then he said, Darrell said, That tournament is about ratings, bro. Long money for ownership. That's right, but the whole thing is nobody's playing in it.
Yeah,
Nobody's playing in it. They don't even want to do it. Like the All-Star game. Like, this is what I agree with them when they said they should have the foreign players versus the American players,
yeah,
and embarrass some
I
of
agree with
those
that.
American superstars. Embarrass them.
And
Do
see,
that.
I do believe that is a good idea because what made KD, LeBron, and Steph want to play in the Olympics?
Your
Playing
people
Because
against
the
hungry.
them,
last,
playing against
because
everybody, them boys overseas.
no, no, no,
Wemby,
no,
all of
no, no,
them.
no, yeah, no, it's not just that. Because the last time they put a group of NBA players in a FIBA tournament, they lost.
Got smacked.
They got smacked. They ain't even medal.
Yep. There was no Kobe
Mm.
available to bail them out this time.
Nope,
There's
nope,
no
there
Kobe
wasn't. Nope.
available.
And that's and
And
that's
and
and
remember,
that's
that was the last of the no load management. I'm gonna ball every night. Remember when he got there, we gonna play defense. We gonna do what it takes to win this championship. Because they knew what the players they had. All of those guys was on the fence. I'll play sometimes. I'll do this, but man, he changed that culture of everything over there. How they saw that
yeah,
man working out. You
yeah,
saw Wade change. His career from then on changed. You saw Melo do the same thing. All those guys that
yeah,
got to work with what work really was, all of them changed the second halves of their careers after that right there. The only
yep,
one person you saw do the same thing is the same person we still see doing that now is LeBron James.
yep, yep. But yeah, but everybody, because they said it in the documentary about the Redeem team.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, Mello said it. He said, "Man, we coming back from the club. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Hell, Kobe going to work out.
You know, he was coming back from a workout and getting ready
Yeah,
for another one.
right, right. And
We
we
coming
come
in
back.
from the club. He
We
coming
coming
in
in
from
from
a
the club,
workout.
and he coming in from a workout.
Wade was like, yo, I got to get my stuff together. This man is really on
Exactly,
another level right here,
exactly,
man.
exactly. And that is why the Redeem team dominated the way they did.
Yep. Remember what he had to do to Powell to show them, man, teams in the NBA teams now, we playing for our country. I'm going to show
Right,
y'all what I'm going to do. Ran through Powell Gasol's chest to show him, man, there ain't no love for the other side. This
right,
team, if we don't show this, they going to beat us. They
right.
dogged everybody else in that
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
could be
right.
next.
Yeah, like, and he said it. Look, I love Pal. Pal is my brother. On
Mm-hmm.
the Lakers, we are teammates and we are brothers. But when we play in the Olympics, he plays for Spain. I play for the United States.
That's
There
right.
is no love then.
Let
It
him
ain't
cook
like back in
now.
the day when
Let him.
back in the day when Mad Max and Jordan would go out. Look, Mad Max sometimes he'd be out in the club all day, coming in and put a whole game in. Jordan out in the club doing it, playing in the flu, playing in what NBA Finals with the flu temperature. It still dropped like 20 some odd points. It ain't like back. They're not built the same as they were back
They're
then.
not
They're not
built
built
the
the same.
same.
They don't have the same mentality. So
They
yeah,
don't. They're not built the same.
That's like
the
Jordan
fact
when
that
he
they
was at the
won
Olympics.
the gold medal this year shows that they have the heart. But them guys who have them guys, Steph and all them, they a little older. They need to translate and lead by example and show the rest of them because that heart is not is it's like, okay,
It's
I
not
made it,
there.
I got it, so I'm here. And it's not like you said, you got jokers sitting out the daggone NBA All-Star game. Folks pay their good hard-earned money.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, you
They
got
get they
folks
the
who
best
may
in the
not be the
league.
smartest thing. You live in
Yeah,
paycheck to paycheck, and you skipping paychecks to make this thing, but you still like the kids, you got the little kids who sit there who beg their parents, and they struggle my gimmicks to bring their child there, and you gonna say, I don't because I heard, like you said, injury is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The
yeah.
illness to a point is one thing.
hmm
But just because, I don't feel like, or like y'all said, low management trying to make sure hold off on certain things because of what? What are we? Unless the risk outweighs, unless there's a true risk
Mm-hmm.
to the health of the player, to the detriment of the team, why are we not playing?
Yep.
And see these players now, they've lost respect for what it means to be an NBA player.
You see him. He said he knew
He knew
72
72
hours
hours
beforehand.
beforehand.
Yeah,
Mm.
he talk about LeBron and them how they sat out the All Star game and off of your
Yeah,
PT. These guys, these kids and everybody, everybody's not rich. These
No,
people pay your paycheck.
Right.
And you talking about you not playing because of this, and that lead me to the last topic, y'all. They're talking about adding the NFL into the Olympics, but flag football. If you're gonna do that, don't even do that. That's the
No,
dumbest thing ever.
no.
Like
And do
like
not use
Mason
professional
Cameron
football players.
said. Like
We got
Mason
flag football
Cameron
teams out
said.
here. No.
He's like Mason Cameron said. They watched them play that for the Pro Bowl. You got people out here smiling and stuff. Football ain't about no doggone smiles and all of that stuff like that. You got to play fat. If you gonna get a gold medal for playing flag football, that's the biggest 8th place trophy the world has ever considered. That would be the dumbest thing ever, man.
Hey, hold up.
And look,
Now,
you can still get an ACL torn playing flag football.
There's
You
flag
can
football
still get
teams.
hurt.
There's flag football teams out here. There's flag football teams out here where these jokers they play. They
And
play
if
with
you're gonna put a gold medal on behind it, put them, not the
Put
NFL
them.
and flag
Don't
football.
put the NFL. Put
Yeah.
them.
See,
Put the ones who
they
work.
look. What they're doing is they're trying to follow the model of the NBA.
And they don't need to.
When they're trying to make the dream team in the NFL.
The only way they're gonna do that is if they bring pads, helmets, and cleats. They're not
Exactly.
doing that with no doggone flag
With a
football.
with a t-
First
with a
of
t-
all,
with a
who
t- with
wants
a
to watch
t-shirt and
that?
tennis shoes.
Right. First of all, who wants to watch that?
And then the United States is going to dominate because how many foreign-born NFL players are there?
Like I
Like
said,
not like 99% of the NFL are American-born players.
Yeah.
like
We're
I
born
said,
in the United
with
States.
the flag football, there's plenty of flag football teams out here. Leave the NFL where it is. Let's get the ones who play flag football. You got girls who come in and play in leagues when up a flag football. You got these boys who come up who play flag football. And these jokers, they don't be playing. You want to put anybody in flag football? Let's put the actual flag football players in the league and let them go and compete for the let them go and compete for the medal
Bring
for
the
the title.
gold
Let
back
them
to the
they
flag
earn that
football
right.
league. Bring the gold back for the flag football league. But if you repping the NFL, the only
Sit
flags
behind
they
that.
have out there, is penalties or challenges.
Exactly.
That's the only one I want to see on that right there. I do not want to
Exactly.
see Debo Samuels out there playing flag football. I do
Uh-uh.
not want to see Jaden Daniels out there playing flag football. None of that.
Uh-uh.
When they had the Pro Bowl, I didn't watch 1 second of that mess with no flag football out there. That's a waste of time. And you talking about protecting them from injuries? If you want to do that, stop having the Pro Bowl. Stop talking about putting them in there. Otherwise, we want to see the game of football in its entirety, not lightened up just to have an opportunity to get a gold medal. You want a gold medal? Dress those guys up. Take the risk that the NBA players are. Remember what happened to Paul George out there?
Yep.
He's still playing today, but he got hurt for his country.
Yep.
That's what you have to be willing to risk. Look at the people. I mean, look at everything that they're doing. Look at the soccer. Look at everything they're doing. Fencing, all of those sports, swimming. They're not taking a lighter route for it just to get a gold medal. They're training harder. And when it's time to be there, they're showing up. If you can't do that, I don't want to see it.
Nope. I agree. I'm 100%
You're not
for
wasting
that.
no
I agree.
tax
I
dollars
agree.
money on that for putting that on there. Nobody wants
I
to
agree.
see that mess, man.
I agree.
I'm 100%. I'm with you on that one.
Word
Yeah, me
up.
too.
So before we get out of here, man, go ahead, JL83, run your shots out, bro.
Hey man, shout out to the Hate of the Break crew, always. Shout out to everybody that watches. Big things are coming. So just keep tuning in.
T, what you got for me?
Big things popping. Sorry. Y'all know me. I'm a little squirrel. Shout out to the Hated Debate crew. Everybody. Huda, Bugs, Black. I was actually on with Bugs the other day, so got to see that one. Pete, the main man, the one that brought us all together. Shout out. Just watch the shows, people. We coming. We got a lot of things popping off. And it's just gonna get better and better. Shout out to Jay Breeze. My ears, my dog, who put me in contact with the man and has made he's the reason all of this is popping the way it does. So shout out to him. Shout out to all the people watching. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate everything. Shout out to the one above that woke me up this morning because without him, none of this is possible.
Big shout out to Big God out there. Darrell
Yes,
says,
sir.
shout out from Australia, man. Shout out to you, man.
Hey, man.
Yes, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
bro. Definitely, bro. He also
Shout
said,
out.
good job,
Shout out to you.
guys.
Shout out to you.
I like to give a shout out to y'all. Y'all already know, man. I love rocking with y'all. I love talking these sports, man. Without y'all, we couldn't make it happen. We going up. We going up tonight. We got a hater debate bringing y'all the I'm Here show. We gonna be getting some gossip on out there. This isn't a sports show or sports podcast at all. It is all open, wide open. We're going to have Blind Fury on there for the first guest out there. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. We're going to be talking that talk out there tonight. Y'all stay tuned. JLE the 3 and T got a fantasy show that's going to be coming soon, as well as me and T going to have a 49ers talk show coming. We got all kinds of things coming this year. Is going to be it. Father's Day weekend is the year anniversary, so we're going to be hoping everybody's there. We got a very special episode. We going to hopefully have everybody in attendance for it. So we got more big things coming. We're growing. We're keeping this thing rocking for y'all. With all of that being said, man, I love you guys. We'll talk to y'all 8 o'clock tonight. Until then,
Here to bring you the facts, data, and statistics up close and personal. Letting you decide if it truly is hate or debate.
Pulls up 3-pointer.